the 49ers were far from perfect in their ugly win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but there is a flurry of things that I don't feel like people are talking about, that very few people seem to be noticing, and I think that the breakthrough is absolutely massive. I can't wait to tell you about it. If you're new here, I'm Nate. Love talking about those 49ers. Please consider a like and sub. I very much appreciate it if you do so. Listen, Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa, Dominic Puni, Kalia Davis, names of guys that nobody before the season started expected to be as important as they have become to this football team. And I could go on and on and on about why that is super massive, as we have this top-heavy team full of talent, guys that have already gotten paid, more guys who have to get paid, namely a $60 million quarterback probably in Brock Purdy. You know, all of the stuff that's going to happen down the line, you have to get young talent, you have to find undrafted free agents. There are guys out there doing things that are making a massive difference that we have to talk about, because as the stuff has started coming out and I'm reading articles and I'm seeing tweets, I'm like blown away that there's not more people in the bigger sphere talking about these people. So let's get into it, starting with my man, all of our, we all love him, Ricky Pearsall, Dominic Puni, run blocking grades 1 and 2 in the game yesterday. Number 1, Ricky Pearsall at 86.8 PFF run blocking grade, and then Dominic Puni at 85.9. Now, fantastic. You love to hear this, and I want to give some massive credit to Ricky Pearsall. I believe I have actually a tweet to back that up, but while we're talking about blocking grades and PFF grades, I want to also mention the pass blocking grades from Christian McCaffrey, something that, you know, you kind of don't think about all the time. I say you, not talking about you. I'm sure you do, but a lot of fans, and especially outside of the 49ers fan base, a lot of folks don't recognize the value that Christian McCaffrey brings in the blocking game. He's out there for over 50 snaps, guys. Over 50 snaps. And this was his first game back. So, yeah. 82.3 pass blocking grade, 70.2 overall offensive grade, best in the last 5 starts or 6 starts, something like that. I think it was week 14, if I remember correctly. So that includes the playoffs. So it's a little more than 5 starts, I suppose. 19 touches for 107 yards out there for 50-something snaps. Pretty crazy to see the absolute value that this guy, and you got to remember, like, the longer you're out on the field, especially for a guy who's coming back from injury, the harder it is to maintain those high PFF grades. And so massive credit to Christian McCaffrey. But back to Ricky Pearsall and Dominic Puni. Let's get into some of the details there, starting with, watch this. Thanks to Johnny Dell for posting this. Watch this from Ricky Pearsall. I slowed it down for you a little bit, and Ricky Pearsall's right here on the bottom right of the screen. Watch this block. The block that, just not quite a pancake, but dude, well done for a rookie. And Ricky Pearsall's, he's like a tall guy, but he's not a massive dude. And he handles them pretty well there. So absolutely love that. While we're talking about Pearsall and Puni and how great they were, Dominic Puni is not allowed a sack all season and was the highest graded player on the team for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was like, what am I saying? At 83.4. Okay, continuing on. Dominic Puni is the 49ers' highest-ranked offensive player, as we just talked about. On top of that, the rookie now ranks in the top 10, number 8 of NFL guards in PFF's run block grade. That is crazy. And you know what? This great line at the bottom there, David Lombardi, thanks for this comment. I thought that was impossible since the 49ers didn't invest in their offensive line. And you know what? Like, I was one of those guys. I'm not going to, pretend like I wasn't. I felt like it needed to be a first round draft pick kind of attention, right? Maybe second. But the 49ers didn't do that. And I'm happy that they picked up Ricky Pearsall, because he's proving to be far more valuable, especially with the injury to Brandon Aiyuk. He's proven to be far more valuable than I had anticipated at the time. I think there were a lot of people who were down on that pick, and I was up on it. I was excited about it. I love the flashy offensive player, but there's this practicality side that's like, wait, but we gotta figure out this tackle situation. We have an issue at right tackle, and we have a future issue at left tackle, so we got to figure that out. But anyway, moving on. Great point there from David Lombardi. Now, another guy coming in clutch. Guys, all like nobody would expect Charvarius Ward to show up and play football right now. nobody expects it. And Ronaldo Green is not the Charvarius Ward replacement, okay? That's Isaac Yiadom. But when you look at the secondary, when you're looking at the cornerbacks, and you're trying to figure out how are we going to get it done without our number one cornerback, even though he has not been perfect this season, we know the value that Ward has been and can be. Man, coming in clutch, Ronaldo Green, my word. 82.6, led the highest graded defensive players. 2 pass breakups. One of them was really key. 4 catches for 27 yards allowed against him. 83.9 coverage grade, highest in the game. Both sides. Ronaldo Green is currently number 2 corner in the league per PFF out of 119 qualified players. That is our rookie, Ronaldo Green, who some people are like, is he supposed to be a slot guy? Like, what kind of corner is he going to be? Like, anyway, I'm just stoked about it. Like, this is crazy, guys. Ronaldo Green, Dominic Puni, Ricky Pearsall in his second NFL game. Second, right? Or is his third, technically? Whatever. Run stopping and tackling. 2 huge problems. Huge problems for the 49ers this season at times, for sure. And we got to give Malik Mustafa some massive credit. He scored his highest, I think it was his highest ever tackling grade at 85.8, highest tackling grade for the 49ers at a time for a guy who's been criticized for missing tackles. This has been a genuine criticism of Malik Mustafa. He's insane speed. He's insane power. And all that momentum has to go somewhere. And sometimes he misses guys. And that's okay. You take that now and then, it's going to happen, right? And you say he's a rookie. He's going to grow out of that. He's going to work on it. Well, he did it. He did very incredibly well against the Buccaneers. And then you have Kalia Davis. You've got a flurry of guys who, like, if it weren't for 1 or 2 big plays in preseason, we would not be thinking so highly of Kalia Davis. But coming out of preseason, seeing all the injuries and knowing he's going to be important, and then having more injuries during the season, and he's been an injured guy for most of the season, and he's coming back, and here he is. We got him back. That's fantastic. And he's out there. He's only out there for 11 snaps, so let's take that with a grain of salt. But 76.4 run defense, the best in run defense for the 49ers. So got to give some massive credit to Kalia Davis, who went out there, and when given the opportunity this season, including preseason, when given the opportunity, he's been pretty valuable per the number of snaps he's been given. And remember, this is Kalia Davis, not Khalil Davis, who was recently signed. We're talking about Kalia Davis. But anyway, moving on. Whew, wowza. It just gets better and better. Let's just look at some of the rookies from yesterday in general. Puni, top-graded player on offense. Pearsall, 4 catches, 73 yards and a touchdown. Cowing, 30-yard punt return in fourth quarter. And I'm not going to hold that fumble on him. That's not his bad. That's Darrell Luter Jr.'s bad. When he called for the fair catch, just my opinion. I don't know about you, but I kind of like special teams to be simple. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be crazy. It just needs to be simple. And when your own teammate calls for a fair catch, you get out of there. He's shown he can catch the ball in some weird situations and some awkward footings. He can catch the ball when it's a little windy. He can catch the ball when there are defenders in his face. So, Luter, get out of there, man. Get out of there. Once the fair catch is called, you're gone, right? I don't understand. In my mind, it's that simple. I know it's probably not that simple, but that's how it feels to me. Ronaldo Green, top graded player on defense. Mustafa, 8 total tackles not targeted in coverage. And Evan Anderson gets a very important tackle for loss. That was a big one. And he wasn't out there for very long. He also had a personal foul that was during that drive that had multiple personal fouls. That was a very frustrating drive. Most frustrating drive of the game for me, even on top of the missed field goals, because it felt like we were just giving them the game. We're just giving it to them. Very frustrating. Fred Warner had one of those as well, by the way. So there's multiple personal fouls in that drive. But Evan Anderson had the tackle for loss. That was a part of the play. You know, I think I got a tweet on this, actually. Let me just keep going. We'll come back to that, okay? This was great play by Brock Purdy. Let me come back to that. Yeah, Evan Anderson, 2nd and goal, tackle for loss. Bucks tried to block the rookie 325-pounder with a tight end. Bad idea. Next play, 49ers reserve. Rock Ya-Sin, I was surprised when I saw him on the field. Forced the incompletion with good coverage at the goal line, forced Bucks field goal, and gave the 49ers a chance at a W, which they took, which is great. One last thing, and I know this is not one of the guys that we're talking about. This is not one of the rookies. This is not one of the undrafted free agents. This is not one of the unexpecteds, but this is something that was pretty special and a fantastic statement, again, from Johnny Dell here. Some sort of miscommunication between Banks, Williams, Kittle leaves a man unblocked. Can a film watcher parse this? Look at this. I mean, you know it. You know it already, but just look at it for a second. Just appreciate it. And in that moment right there, when he's thrown the ball, I'm amazed. Like Christian McCaffrey's like the 50-yard line or something like that. He's like he's not even at the 50-yard line yet. I mean, that's just crazy. Beautiful play by Brock Purdy there. So, man, you guys, there's a lot to be disappointed about. There was a lot to be frustrated about from that game. There were a lot of moments where it felt like here are the 49ers doing the things that the 49ers have been doing all season long, and didn't love any bit of that. But looking back and seeing all of the guys who contributed, all of the guys who you would never have picked before the season to be massive, important players this season, it is so awesome to see, and it's really exciting for the future of this football team to see all these guys out there. Let me know in the comments who of these guys we talked about today you're most excited about. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy excluded. Who of these guys are you most excited about? Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa, Dominic Puni, Kalia Davis, Ricky Pearsall. Who are you hyped on? Because Evan Anderson, there is a lot of guys out there that are bringing value to this football team in ways that I would not have expected coming into the season. I believe the best in all of these players, and I have hope, especially before the season starts. You just can't help yourself but get hopeful and excited about what's going to happen and how good the team's shaping out. But you're seeing these guys actually do it now, and it's pretty fascinating, pretty fun to watch, pretty exciting. What a time to be alive.